Chapter 5 Land Ahoy. Authorized as part of a German four-year plan for economic development, the Neu Schwabenland expedition left Hamburg on December 17, 1938, headed for Antarctica aboard the MS Schwabenland, led by Captain Hermann Kopf, hoping to establish new territories. The expedition of 33 members plus the Schwabenland's crew of 24 was escorted by two of the deadliest and stealthiest machines of war, U-boats U-530 and U-977. An earlier Antarctic expedition had discovered several ice-free regions with lakes and signs of vegetation, lichen and mosses, in the territory's interior. The expedition's geologists had said that this was more than likely due to hot springs or other geothermal sources. This discovery would hatch a bold plan to build a permanent base in Antarctica. The brackish water of the warm lakes virtually confirmed that all would have an outlet to the sea and would be a haven for U-boats. The two ice-free mountain ranges in Neu Schwabenland presented no worse an underground tunneling project for organization tote than anything they had encountered and overcome in either Norway or Sweden. The Germans were the world's experts at building and inhabiting underground metropolises. As soon as news had reached the fatherland, this fleet had been put together and preparations started for the triumphant return. Engineers had immediately started to draw up plans and prepare tunneling equipment, all of which now resided in the bowels of MS Schwabenland, ready to be offloaded at the earliest convenience. After 10 weeks of trouble-free sailing, the small fleet arrived at the Weddell Sea and proceeded to work their way toward the coast and the region of Queen Maud Land, soon to be claimed and renamed as Neu Schwabenland. With their destination almost literally in sight, Captain Kopf was eager to see what all the hype had been about. The crew that had returned as part of the original expedition had been full of awe for the discoveries they had made. Further investigations had found that the brackish waterways could be navigated all the way to large caves in spring by surface ships when the melt was starting. At other times the only submerged U-boats would make it in and out. Now in late March, Captain Kopf was on the very brink of starting the final leg of the trip. Looking to his executive officer, Captain Kopf gave the order. "XO slow ahead, heading 15 degrees to port." "Aye, Captain," acknowledged Executive Officer Hans Munter. "Have you got the detailed depth charts ready?" "Aye, Captain." "Excellent. With this much water we should be fine to enter, and still have enough clearance." "Aye, Captain. A dinghy has been launched, and a lookout posted checking for depth and headroom." Captain Kopf knew that the window to enter the waterway was tight. It was only passable to surface vessels for 14 days in early spring. Attempting the passage any earlier would result in insufficient water, any later insufficient headroom. If the mining equipment was to get in, ready for the next year's planned activities, then it had to get in now. As they entered the passage, the sides closed in. Even at a head slow, the bow wave washed up the vertical cliffs of ice to either side. As they progressed further into the passage, it slowly became a tunnel as the cliffs became a roof. "XO, how are we for clearance?" "Tight, but all clear, Captain." With the end of the trip as good as in sight, Captain Kopf finally started to relax. Within 10 minutes they would be safely into the main ice cavern that would be their home for the next year. Once the MS Schwabenland was safely in, they could commence unloading while the U-boats followed them in. Within 14 days the waterway would once again be hidden to any prying eyes.